Alright. Hello and welcome back to some more... Sorry about that. My brain decided to fart there. Hello and welcome back to some more Minecraft Jumper's Golden Age. And no, I do not have a antenna on my head. It may look like that, but no, it is just a lamppost. Definitely no beep 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 boops going around here. But hopefully you are all doing alright and staying safe. So last episode, well, we were in the process of... This is basically part 2 of part 1 of this project. We are currently working on fixing up the docks. A build project that has really been needing a fix up. And what you're seeing now is us finally getting rid of the wooden area of the dock. And we'll be replacing it with some good old spruce. And a user fan of spruce, you know, spruce is quite nice for docks. I was actually thinking about the dark oak wood, but when I was looking at the dark oak wood, ooh. What is going on, I tell you? My mouse seems to just be dying, I tell you. I do apologise. I had a terrible cough in like the last episode that caused me to choke, I tell you. I choked on my own air after laughing. It was really just, you know, that funny of a joke. It wasn't even a joke, I don't think so. Alright. Can't remember, you know, there's that fleeting of a moment. I kinda, you know, got distracted by choking, that's what I will say. Kinda got distracted by choking. So this thing went flying out my head. Alright. Grab that. There's a lot of fish under this dock, if I'm being, you know, honest. There's too many. Why is there so many fish under this dock? I will probably expand out the back of the, area. Because I do plan on munching down this area right here. The area that's been a little bit of annoyance and pushing it a little bit back. Just so it looks a little bit nicer in the long run, if I'm being honest. And, you know what, before I get distracted, I am going to go and get to finishing off mining out the docks. Because I know if I do not mine it out now, I'll forget, and then I'll get, you know, stuck on like a little topic talking to yous, and then, you know, we talk, and then I lose track of time, and then bam, it's the end of the episode again. Surprise, goodbye. I'm just joking. But that does actually happen. It would not be one of my episodes if I did not talk your ear off, and, forget what we were talking about for a second, and then, you know, remember what I had to talk about. It's a running tradition by this point, I tell you. It's a running position. There we go. Right up there. I still can't believe how many times, you know... Let me break that, sorry. I still can't believe how many times, and I was trying to remember what I was about to say. How many times I've actually lost my shulker box in this series? If I'm being honest, I lose my shulker box way too often. Like, we found our one shulker box all the way up there that I'd placed down, took some stuff out of, and then left up there for ages. I actually left one down in... I think I still have one that's lost. Do I actually still have one that's lost? I think I lost one for over 100 episodes at one point. Which is pretty long, if I'm being honest. It's pretty long. Oh, I forgot I needed to lay up the docks. Oh, how could I forget? There we go. I need to light up the docks because I keep having the problem of... This does not look right. Bring it back. That's what I'll do. There we go. Do that. Sorry about burping there. Came out of nowhere. There you go. I drink water, I burp. Okay, well this seems to be weird. What if I was to do that? Break this. Place that there. That there. And then break that there. Place that there. And just place some dirt there. Would that look a little bit nicer? I think breaking this would look a little bit nicer. Yeah, that would actually look a little bit nicer. Alright, break that. I totally forgotten about zombies. I've been too busy building it, I totally forgot about zombies. Alright, let me go deal with this zombie and then also deal with my hunger issue that we're having. That actually does look a tremendous amount better. Like, about being honest, it was probably the best that the docks have ever looked. And also, they actually stretch further down. I actually really do like how these look. One thing that I will always say, if you cannot get a build like right, don't fear to always, you know, take the step of tearing it down and then rebuilding it again. As I always say, you know, the whole point of Minecraft is to have an imagination. And if you can fix a problem in Minecraft, like, oh no, this block, you know, is one off, I may have to change the entire build, then go ahead, do the, you know, changing of the build. But if you have to, do not be afraid to break down the entire build. That is the point of Minecraft, is to, you know, break down stuff, build, and break down it again. Even though that may be like 15 times, like that has happened before, you know. I've built, you know, build a lot, and turns out I have to break down a lot of builds sometimes. Too many builds, I tell you, too many builds that I have to re-break down. Alright, put the dirt in the backpack, and does sand go in this backpack? I don't actually know. I don't actually know. I don't think I have a sand backpack. But let's get started on actually grabbing some more spruce wood, as we're just ran out of spruce wood. I'll take that as well. And we'll actually get started on placing down some of the spruce wood, and I forgot that we had the texture pack spruce wood. This might not look the best. I was thinking about like the other, you know, texture of it. Either that, I have a great idea that I feel like, you know, would definitely make way for better in the build. Alright. So make sure it's like 2 blocks thick, I would say. Yo, you gotta be stuck in there. It's your own fault. There we go. Yeah, that's actually not looking too bad at all, if I'm being honest. I like that the other, you know, stack instantly goes into my hand due to the inventory mod that we just got. That's an inventory sorter mod that I originally got for, what do you call it, my chests, so I could easily sort them a little bit easier. I do actually need to go and do that very soon, and that is sort out my big storage area and make it look a little bit nicer, and also make it more optimal. I really want to get more shulkers, but the problem is I want to get a shulker to multiply. So hopefully I can get that done eventually. Any of you know how to multiply a shulker on 1.12.2, let me know. Really? I was hoping not to break all this, but I guess I'll just break some of it. It's getting in the way, that's what I'm saying, it's getting in the way. we go. And now let us go and do that. That is 2 blocks, meaning that this is all going to be that. Let me go and fill up this entire bit here. Actually, that's not looking the worst, if I'm being honest. A little bit singy on the eyes, that's what we'll say. A little bit singy on the eyes. Alright, so we'll make that 2. Would it probably be best to just, you know, do it fully spruce? That is going to probably be a possibility. Luckily it went into my inventory, I was just about to swap over to it. And 2 blocks there. Yeah, it probably would be a better idea to just, you know, spruce it all up and then decorate the spruce. That's really not a bad idea. Why did you come into work drunk? You can't do that, Dur. You're a dock worker. You can't come into work drunk. Alright. I might actually fill in the entire thing then, if that's going to be the case. Also, I forgot this dock here. How did I miss this dock? It was right next to the dock. That might actually be the best case. That's what I'll do. I'll fill it all in, and then we'll start to disassemble this wall and rebuild said wall after. There we go. And I'll probably just chuck the carrots. Yeah, I do not have any food. There we go. Alright. So let us go and just fill in all of this area, and then we'll just go in and fix it in a second once we start to tear down the wall. And kind of just, you know, reorganize everything. That's what I'm saying. Reorganize everything. Because obviously, this is not going to work for a busy dock area. Like, if you're working in a dock area, this is way too small of a gap. Think about, like, you know, oh no, this one's closed for the day, but this one's open. And this big, ginormous cargo must go over here. Also, I thought for a second that was a pillager there, because of the brown and grey head, kind of just lining up there with that, you know, dark oak and the andesite behind it. It fits so perfectly. And then I thought to myself, like, that definitely can't be a pillager, because this is 1.12.2. I say that, and there is actually a pillager mod in this, you know, series. That I should really get rid of at one point, I tell you. But I've kept it around this long. It's really not the best, but it does give me a boss, and I do like to fight that boss every once in a while. So we've just been mostly building. Turkey, please. I'll give you a way up in a second, okay? There, you happy now? Alright. Now this bit here is actually pretty fine, I'm saying. But that bit over there is definitely going to have to be, you know, measured and then chopped inwards. Just with how it's looking so far, it's just really in the way, if I'm being honest. Also, I will bring it up again. My audio levels got kind of messed up. I think it was during the Phasmophobia stream that I was doing. So hopefully it does sound alright to you now. I'll probably check it over. Like, it's very hard to get like the perfect audio level, because I've been looking at the audio level, and I think it's because everyone keeps using the stable volume, and when you turn it off stable volume, it, you know, becomes a lot quieter. I feel like that's some of the issue as well. But it's really been an issue that I've been trying to solve for ages, is the problem with the, what do you call it, audio levels. I just cannot get it to be perfect, and the thing is, you know, I normally keep it on, like, you know, higher end audio bits. And I just feel like people keep it on lower audio bits a lot of the time. Like, nothing wrong keeping the episode on the long, you know, well, brain's not working, on lower audio. It's just, for some reason, a lot of people just don't up the audio. Or if you do up the audio, for some reason the audio thing just makes it quieter sometimes. It's really like a hit or miss. It's between like many options and very few options at the same time. It just depends on, you know, how I'm uploading it to Twitch. Well, not Twitch, YouTube. Like if I'm uploading it from Twitch by export, it sometimes is okay and then sometimes not okay. It just seems to be, you know, really hit or miss for if the audio will be perfect that day or will it be terrible that day. And it's really annoying. I blocked it in. Alright. But it's really been like a problem that I've just never been able to solve is audio levels. Like sometimes I can get like the best audio levels like ever, and then sometimes it just does not want to work at all. Just does not want to work at all, and it really annoys me when that happens. Like sometimes it's just the exporting process that just, you know, breaks it, or it's Twitch itself, or it's YouTube, you know, messing around. And it's really just annoying. Really just annoying. Like currently I have it at -6 decibels. And over the, like, you know, years and all that, I've either upped it or lowered it so it's more minus or it's less minus. And it really just gets annoying, to be honest. Like there's really no win in it. Like you could say like, oh maybe it's just your mic, but you know, I've had this mic, you know, for ages, and sometimes it produces like the best videos ever, you know, have been produced with this, and people say like, oh, you know, I really like your mic or something, you know, like that, and then like, you know, certain videos, you know, they always get like you know, oh, you have a terrible mic, you know, it sucks and all that, and I like, it's the same mic that I've used for like ages now, and you know, you get perfect videos, you get bad videos. But the thing is, those aren't bad videos, you know, like compared to like my older videos, you know, these newer ones with the more adjusted audio sound better than the ones that I used to do. But for some reason those episodes just get picked on for some reason, and I don't understand why, when the audio is actually much better in those episodes than maybe say a previous episode of it. And it's really just weird, I tell you, it's just really weird. I just helped you. I just helped you out of that water. Let me just pile up here so I can break all of this. There we go. Break that. And on the way down. You know what, I do really like how smooth this has become. It's just this one little bit here. Actually, I do kind of enjoy this little tiny bit here, but at the same time I don't. And plus, there is going to be a lot of construction here very soon. So, will it stay the same? Probably not. You can also see how I actually built the land originally. Little sneak peek, you know. I do kind of like the honeycomb technique that we use, as it's just a lot more nicer, to be honest. A lot more nicer. I really gotta have to dye these backpacks a different color, because they are definitely not the best just all orange, because I'm trying to figure out, like, is this the right backpack, you know, for stone stuff? I'll just shove sand there now. Ah yeah, this is my stone backpack. Alright, let me just shove all the stone in there. Alright, so that's a stone backpack. This is my regular backpack. and that is the singy backpack. Now I have to try and figure out like what backpack switch. Okay, so stones there. That should be the stone still. Yep. Okay, so it doesn't adjust it, you know, like that. Okay. Not too bad, not too bad. Alright. Does that actually do it for the hotbar? No, it doesn't do it for the hotbar. It only does it for the top bit. And I will probably put these in the backpack. That actually really does look nicer. I have to use a gas tier at one point for something. I remember to write down a long time ago I needed gas tiers for something. I don't think it was the Ender Dragon because I've already done Ender Dragon. But it was for something and I needed to remember what it was. Alright. So, we have to try and now figure out how this is going to work here. I think I might actually change it to a 2 block for this section. That's what I'm thinking. 2 blocks for the section. So if we get this out to and mine out all of this. There we go. And probably just take down the stairs as well. These stairs have always been such an annoyance to me, if I'm being honest. I always hated these stairs. Alright. There we go. That is actually not too bad. Not too bad at all. Alright. Now, on to our next step. Alright. Let's see. So, we currently have that going for it. How do I decorate this bit? Maybe I should not have the stairs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, this is wrong. Maths is not the best here. I hear lava. I forgot there's lava underneath this. Replace some of that lighting that was there. Alright. This is not as straight as it could be. That could increase this a lot if I was to do this. Okay, put that in there, put the... this is not where I'm supposed to put the seeds, I'm supposed to put it in the other backpack. Well, I don't care to now. Actually, put that there, and we'll put all of this here. Now put my stone in that backpack to now. Yeah, that's not looking bad. Now, the reason I'm breaking all this is that I'm trying to get a perfect line in here. Because I'm thinking about moving the stairs over. And I feel like I could do a vertical middle stair through this section right here. So it's going to be very difficult, if I'm being honest. Not an actual building, but you know, more like, you know, getting the size perfect. The sizing's got to be like the worst part about this. I might actually break you. Now if I was to do stairs here, it would go right into the middle ground section here. That's got to be a hard one there. Wait. This is not angled properly. wait, that's actually an old bit of the wall there. Oh, maybe past me was onto something. Past me helped me today. I think this is where I want to do the stairs. I want to do like, you know, maybe a vertical kind of stairs here. Could do out slabs and stairs, or a mix of both, or just one of each. Hard decision, but I do think it is doable. It's just a section over here that is a pain. Just a section over here that is a pain. I could bring it down. Ooh, actually that might actually work. Break all of that. Okay, I'm starting to see something here. But will it form into what I'm wanting? Hard to tell. I could... No. If I'm moving something, it has to be a tool. That's my rule here to now. And put the stone back in there. Actually, I will need the stone in a second. Alright. How about I bring it in just a tad bit at a time? That might actually make this look a little bit nicer. That's not too bad. Also, what's the time that we're at? Oh, we're almost at the end of the episode today. So, let us actually handle this issue here. Alright. We're actually looking at a tight squeeze, I'm gonna say. The stairs are not going to be there, so I should just remove those and now. Perfect. Trying to pick that up to now, but I ran out of room. So let me shove the wood in here. There we go. That in there to now. Alright. So we have this kind of sorted out here. So if I break this, I'll just put lighting on the wall to now. And then I break down a bit. Let's see, how will this look? I need the other backpack that has the stone bricks and the andesite that I'm looking for. Alright. So, what if I was to bring this out by a bit? And then bring it back in? Could I fit something here? Or will it fail? Alright. I think I can fit something here. It's going to be quite the squeeze. And let's see. There we go. Yeah, that's actually not too bad. might actually break some of this back a bit though. Alright. Alrighty, right. Do I want to build a house up here? That is a good idea actually. I forgot my pink shulker over there. Remind me to go pick up my pink shulker when we're done with this build project. Acacia would be a nice block, but I do actually see jungle wood being a nice block for these houses. Alright, let me place down these, break those, place that. This is like a big change for this area if I'm being honest. Alright, so I want to have it around there. And I have this little, you know, back area. I could make it go out one more block, but I do not want it to kind of, you know, be too, you know, closed in for the little path and bit down there. So I will probably not go with that. Alright. This is kind of a tinier build. Let's see, if I was to go with 1, 2, 3, I think it's going to be another 4 on the other side. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's oh, I fell down. Alright, let me go and shove something on the ground. I'll just shove it there. Yeah, that's actually not too bad. I feel like it'd be 3 blocks and then we'll have the roof on top there. There we go. Alright. Now, how long do I want this house to be? Oh, that's gotta be... Oh, I scratched myself there. That's a hard choice there. Sorry, I'm just doing a lot of thinking now. Trying to think, you know, I want it to be not... I could actually make 2 houses. Make a smaller house, and then I could also make another tinier house around this bit. Kind of make these houses here. And then tear this down. I need to tear this down. I might make that as like a part 2 to this, you know. Let's see. I think 5 blocks would probably be the best choice. Just with the size of it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did we right? I need to find the middle of the house. So, if I was to do a stairs there, 1, 2. Okay, 1 is before, so 2, 3. So 2. And then 2 again there. That'd be how... Really? That'd be how big this shall look. Just about this little middle ground. This is actually just so I can, what do you call it, figure out where the middle of this roof will be. As it will have, you know, a stairs there. Actually, what stairs should I use? I'm actually thinking that birch might be the best choice if I'm thinking about it. It's going to be a hard sell if I'm being honest. But I do think it would look a little bit nicer. So that... And then there would be a slab, or... Yeah, I feel like a double slab here, but on the outside. And then we'll do a stairs, and then I'll go back. Yeah, there would be... Oh wait, there should be another stairs. Do I have any extra birch wood on me? new, and there's very little around here. Yeah, this is actually wider than I thought it would be. Oh, it's because I got... that's it. I realised my mistake. I'd lined it up with the first number being the outside block when it should be the actual block that I'm placing there is number 1, 2. That's why it sounded a little bit strange. But then we'll have an extra block there, an extra block there, and then a double slab right there. Kind of just making this look a lot nicer actually. I really do like the shape of this. But I do see this being a problem here. But I don't really want to get rid of it. Actually, I could get rid of some of it and carve it into a certain direction. That could work. Should I try that? Would that be better? Let's ignore some of the... I think this is actually a very old building, or this was a... oh wait, that was a crust that I was doing. I was doing a little mound bit. That's what I was doing there. Okay. I remember now. Or I think I remember correctly. There we go. Oh, let me get rid of that bot. Dang bot, you know. I look away from chat for like 1 minute. And they just appear. Do not believe any of the bots. They lie, I tell you. They lie. Plus Twitch doesn't even, you know, acknowledge lurkers no more. Kinda sick. There we go. Yeah, that actually does look a lot nicer. If there was a better balance between it, you know, it would be nicer. But sadly, that is not the case. And I do see that a building here could be nice. It'd have to be taller, so maybe double this by 2 blocks. It'd have to be further back, yeah. I want there to be some space in between. So probably there, I'm saying. Probably there. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I feel like 8 would be a nicer number for this one. If this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I make this one 8, would 8 work? Yeah, I guess if I make this building to the left a little bit, or maybe 10. You can kind of start to see what I'm going with here. I'm actually thinking about using acacia wood. I know I don't use acacia wood that often, but I do feel like it would be a better choice. And also I do need to fix up those builds over there. The kind of, you know, story that I was setting up here was these villagers up here built, you know, such a nice place, and then these ones over here copied them. And that was kind of my idea. Let's see. So if I'm doing that, how big is this going to be? We could go 1, 2, 3. Okay. So what if I was to do a... Whoop. What if I was to do a... What do you call it? You know what, this is the ground level. So, imagine we do a window here. We go a little bit further. And I do a window here. And then I do a window. Ran out of andesite, didn't I? Yeah, I ran out of andesite. Let me go grab some more andesite. I probably have some stored away. And no, I do not. Well, I guess we're up to the Grand Abbey. Also, I am 10 minutes over ending this episode. I do apologize. I've just been that distracted that I missed it by 10 minutes. You know what, I'll grab the andesite, you know, let you know what I'm planning, and then I'll end, and then I've almost went into the wrong bit. And then I'll end and restart the stream if you're on the Twitch side, and if you're on the YouTube side, and then I'll be ending today's episode. Alright. Yep, that should do. That should do very nicely. There we go. I really do like how this area has formed. I want to add more wheat fields to these areas. It's just wheat fields cost a lot of, you know, seeds. But I do think I can solve that issue by just harvesting another wheat field. Like, that should give me double this, you know, wheat field, so I could do another wheat field over there. And then more and more wheat fields. And I kind of just want to fill this area up with wheat fields, if I'm being honest. But we'll do another window here. And then... yeah. That is the pillar here. That's a pretty big house, if I'm being honest. Would it be the right idea? I think, yeah. Just trying to get the windows on the other side done now. I guess I could just copy the same idea, run along. Oops. Could do double there. One there. Double there. One there. Double there. Actually, no, this would be a free block. Wait, what? No. This would go down. That would be a one block, yeah. That would make it fit. Because this is where the thingy's supposed to be. Corner of the house. Alright, that's actually not looking too bad at all, if I'm being honest. Not looking bad at all. I just need to get the blocks for the house. I'm actually thinking of a, you know, quite unique block, am I actually gonna say. This would be where we have the door, I'm pretty sure. So I could just mark out where the windows are on this side, and then leave a spot for where I put the front door. Alright. So we go in one block. That's where the window is. Down. And that is where the door is. And down. Up. Down. There we go. Not actually that bad, actually. I do see this turning out quite nice. I don't actually have any doors on me just yet. Or I would have put it in there. But I do see acacia wood being a good choice, if I'm being honest. But I'm actually seeing a problem here. I think it's too short. I think I need to add more length to these poles. So it's just a little bit, larger, because this is going to be a higher up area. So I think that's going to be the case, is that I'm going to have to make this a little bit larger. Ah, I missed it. I've got to do some, Neo kind of stuff there. Matrix, dash or something, I don't know. Believe. Alright. So, let's go and get up here, place that there. That, I feel like, is a lot better. If I'm being honest, that's a lot better. Alright. Now I need to get done the... I am thinking about acacia. It's going to be a hard sell. Acacia is a very bright coloured wood. But I do actually figure out a good compromise between the two if I do that idea. I'm actually trying to find one of my crafting tables that I've left in the water. Alright, If I do a bunch of these, and I just shove that in there now, I'll shove that in there now. Actually, I do need that. I'll actually shove the dirt in here now. Let me just, there. Perfect. Organize. And let me actually go grab some more of that acacia. Yeah, I've got to have to dedicate an entire backpack to just seeds and saplings, if I'm being honest. It's getting a little bit too hectic in there. There we go. And there we go. Alright. This is probably going to look a lot better for this build in the long run. Alright. Let us go and go up like this. Is this going to be better? Let me break this a second. I do feel like I should do something like this over here. Go like that. And have it overhang by that slight little bit there. I feel like in the long run it would look a lot nicer. Does mean I have to grab more materials in the long run, so that kind of sucks, but does not really matter. Alright, so let us go and find the central spot. We already know where the central spot is. Go like that. And I'm starting to see something. Oop. Oh, it looks like if I hit R, I can do something there with that block. But not exactly what I had planned. If I do this, and then I head up by one block, I'm basically like overcomplicating what I've already started, if I'm being honest. Let me, you know, break this down again. Okay, so this is where the slab in area is. I'm gonna break this again. We'll head on down a second. I'm actually thinking about turning this into a block, maybe? Would that look nicer? And then have a slab there. It's gotta be a hard sell, actually, that. If I don't slab underneath, and then underneath that one, break that. No. Okay, whew. Had a heart attack there, basically. And then do that. And then probably do this again. And then that'll be where I slab there. Now let's take a step back from what I've just created there. And you can kind of see, oh yeah, that is it. That is it. That is perfect. Making sure no creepers gotta come up on me. Over there is called Creeper Forest. I know it's little tiny trees, but you know, it spawns creepers like, you know, there's no tomorrow. Yeah, that's actually not looking too bad at all. I think I could recreate it on the other side now. There we go. So probably I'll make a little staircase up, just so I'm able to get up and down a little bit easier. So this is a stair on the end of this stair, and then there's a slab, but there's a stairs placed before that slab. Break that, grab that, place that there. I'm also way over time, you know, for this episode. I might actually just leave that there to now and end off here. You know what? No, I can't leave it unfinished, I tell you. Put that there. And for here, is that block that was placed there? Yeah. And then another slab on top of that. Stairs. Slab. Block. Stairs. Stairs. Ow. There. Perfect. Now let me get rid of the little bit here, so you can see the full picture of what we're creating here. I know I didn't finish out the back, but you don't talk about that. That's actually looking quite nice. That is looking quite nice. I'm not very sure on the wood that we're currently using. I might swap out for something else. I might actually do acacia wood. That is a good choice, actually. That is a good choice. But I think that should be us done for today, as we're way past our regular time for this episode. So, hopefully you enjoyed this. Have a nice day, stay safe, observable, maybe some just because the vitamins are very important. And bye, see you next time. Bye.